Welcome to episode 5 of Chess Battle City in JavaScript. We will talk about sprites and how to manage them. Let us have a look at what we will be able to do after this episode. In this demo, I have changed the loading scene to wait for the sprites to load, and in the main menu scene I used the loaded sprite to make this border of bricks and print those three words. I could have made this title as an image to load it, but I wanted to make it possible to change it, and so now you can print out whatever you would like to print in the main menu scene. Okay, so what is a sprite? In computer graphic, a sprite is a two-dimensional bitmap that is integrated into a larger scene, most often into the video game. This definition was in Wikipedia. Okay. In our project, the set of sprites that we will need is not big at all. We have the tanks, we have the tiles, bullets, and the fonts. So I have divided our assets into 4 images and prepared the JSON file to handle all of them in a single asset folder, asset file JSON map. So we have the tanks. I have prepared the JSON we have what is the file, which file is it, what is the type of the file. If it is a font, we will handle as a font. If it is an entity, we will handle as entity. Here we have the array of entities for each line, or for example, or each row. Here we have the tank 111, which meaning that this level is for team 1. It has a level 1 and it is the first of two possible images of the tank, because when we want the tank to move, we will change its image, like it will play like it's moving, so that we have two possible of each level and for each team. So it will be displayed when it walks. So how do we define in our map? We first need the x and y, like I described in the previous, or I don't know what episode was it, about loading images. Yeah, it was episode 3. I prepared the assets for I prepared the JSON map, but I later on realized I can divide the images. It would make more sense, because I have these two fonts, the default font, which is 8 by 8 pixels, and the brick fonts, which would make it nicer on displaying, on writing on scenes with bricks. That's like huge. It's 32 by 32, so we cannot print much on the screen. You can't, but it would be nice to print out. Okay, we can also scale images when we print on the canvas. So what do we have here is a prepared JSON to load of all of our sprites. I have prepared the demo to make use of the sprites. I created this sprite manager file, JavaScript file, to use the JSON assets JSON file, and in our images we have all the images loaded, and we have an global.images file that contain all 4 of our images. So when we have the name of the file in the JSON, it would be like the index in the global array. You can have a look at the code and try changing stuff in it, or adding a new image and loading the sprites in it, just to get more experience in it. Regarding the fonts, we have like standard, like all the numbers, all the characters in uppercase. You can add lowercase if you want. It would like mean duplicate of this. We have a dot, we have a column, we have a dash. This image was used in one of the tutorials I have seen. I used this image to create a new one using bricks. Basically, I used Photoshop to largen the scale and crop out all of the characters, letters, numbers, so on, so on. So what do we have here is a handler for loading sprites. We will call the sprite manager.load in our loading scene, and we will wait for all the sprites to load. I have prepared a handler. It does not often occur, but it does. I don't know if it will be always be the case, but if we have an image that has not been loaded yet for whatever reason, I created a handler that it will uh, abort the loading of sprites, but it will try again in a few milliseconds to be precise, because we are in the loading scene. We are continuously loading. If we have is loading, we have a mutual exclusion here, because if we have already loaded the assets, we don't continue. If we have already started the script to be loading, we also don't continue. Once we started the is loading, we assign it to true, and if we want to abort, we assign the is loading to false, so it will allow the redoing of the script. So basically, after this, we would have all of our sprites available: the tanks, the tiles, and the fonts. I have prepared in the main menu scene uh, the code to draw the border, a brick border. Basically, we draw on the top, on the first row and the last row, and on the sides we have the first side and the last side to display the border. And using the font, once we have loaded the asset, it is as simple as a single line of code: sprite manager.get sprite, and you define the name. I have also prepared a simple snippet of code to print out all of the sprites once loaded. I can, like doing here, we will see all of our sprites loaded, all the tanks, all the characters. Each one of them is a canvas on its own. We can clone this and print it on our canvas in whichever position we want. So now that you have the sprites loaded, you know how to load them and use them and print them. We can have clone of them. Our next episode would be about making entities, like for wall, and we'll introduce mat a point, mat rectangle, um, and we will use like new classes to, like, for class tank and the class brick, so that we can handle them. And I will make let's leave it surprise for our next episode. Thanks for watching. Hope you go and read out about this. You can go to see the documentation on pdemia.com/chessbattlecity. I'll leave the link in the description. Thanks for watching and good night.